I got a phone call from one of my salespeople. He said he has a gentleman that loves one of the houses we have for sale in Grand Prairie. The house is for sale I think it's for sale for $250,000. The gentleman has $40,000 down, but he has zero credit. And the reason he has zero credit is this gentleman and his family are practicing Muslims. Now, part of the Islamic law, as written in the Quran, in one of the surahs, which is like one of our Bible verses, is that they are prohibited from either collecting or paying interest. So a practicing Muslim does not pay or collect interest. So how do you sell a house with owner financing without collecting interest on it? Well, I've actually done some research, and Owner Finance Homes does provide what's called Islamic financing. Now, there's a couple different ways you can do this. One is you can calculate the total amount of interest if he paid on time, which in this case would probably be about $600,000, and add that to the sales price, so we would end up selling the house for about $850,000. Now, the part I don't like about this, it's great for us because if he ever decides to sell the house or he pays it off early, then I basically am collecting all the interest regardless of what he does. It's not good for me because what happens if he pays late? So if he skips 2 or 3 months payments, then I lose out on that additional interest. So this really is not a great win-win, but it does solve the Islamic financing problem. There's another way to do it. So let's take on an average a $250,000 house, and somebody comes in and puts $50,000 down in. What that means is they have put 20% down on the house. One way to look at this is to say they have bought 20% of the house. They don't own the other 80%. So instead of paying interest, what they're going to do is they are going to pay rent on the 80% of the house that they do not own. And basically you can follow the same amortization schedule, just change the title at the top from interest to rent. What I did to make it simple is I created a schedule for 30 years. And every year they make the same payment, and the same portion of those payments go to principal, and the same payment goes to rent. And that way they rent the house, and every year they're buying a little bit more of the house. Next year they're renting a little bit less of the house, but they're buying more of the house. It follows the same amortization schedule. This way it works for us because we can put it on our books as interest. It works for the buyers because they're looking at it as rent, not interest, and it allows them to be compliant according to their religious beliefs. So this is one example of being creative and trying to make a win-win for everybody. And that's one of the things we're deeply committed to at both Owner Finance Homes and Owner Finance Academy.